Ciao, buongiorno. We are hiking today at the Monte Manu region. We should take it a bit easy today because both of us are super sunburned because we were chilling too hard yesterday at the Costa Verde. Anyway, it's a pretty nice area here. You have this really clear water. The area is full with deers, with Sardinian deers, endemic to the area, to the island, and mufflons, and also the the golden eagle is native here. So maybe we are lucky, but I don't think so because, oh my god, the water is so cold. So maybe we are lucky and see some, but I don't think so because we already saw a lot of motocross drivers and super noisy, super annoying. Anyway, we will follow this little canyon as far as we can. Maybe we can cross it. Did you watch the last video? Did you like what you saw? Spoiler alert, it won't get boring. I've been here once before, or at least in the area, and it was in summer, so there was just a little bit of water. But what we saw this time, I was speechless. The video here can't anyhow tell how beautiful this place is in reality. We walked through the valley, following paths marked with stones, and after every corner a new incredible landscape opened up for us. The hardest part was to make progress, cause these pools, every single one of them invited us to take a swim in them. Well, we didn't do that, otherwise we would probably still be there, but we enjoyed some. There were also some deeper ones for jumps. Also, the path was a little adventurous, always following the stream, sometimes an easy walk, sometimes we also had to climb a little bit. So it was a fun walk with a lot of paths and breathtaking views of the valley and the waterfalls. You remember when I said we're gonna have an easy day, a pause day? We ain't. Well, there was a steep climb at the end, because there is a little section where you can't pass by the water. But all this made it an adventurous day in a unique landscape. So for now, let's get a little bit into the history of Sardinia. Not too far from the valley with the natural pools you can find Nebida. The whole area is known for its mining history, and in the whole Iglesias region you can find many abandoned mines. And where land meets sea, you find the Laveria La Marmora, the laundering facility for the mines of Iglesias. It's been abandoned since the 1930s, but you can still visit it. A few years back, a huge storm which blew high waves against the houses destroyed a lot of it, so be careful when visiting. What happens in a lavanderia for stones? Well, first thing, the big stones get smashed and the sand and soil gets washed away. And in the next section, the lead and zinc, what was the main resource that was mined here, were cleaned. Something you should also not underestimate are the epic views you have. And look at this European shack trying to drown the fish he catched. Anyway, off to the next adventure. I want to show you the old miners' town of Asproni. But the hardest part is to get there. The road is typical Sardinian, so it would be better to have a 4x4 than a Fiat Panda. Well, we did it somehow, because it was closer to get here than turning around, and we will try a different route out. But this is absolutely not the natural habitat of a Fiat Panda. Asproni is the village where the miners lived, who worked a few hundred meters away in the mine of Sedas Modici. It was named after Giorgio Asproni, who was the owner of the mine and founder of the village. History tells that he was a pretty huge cunt and worker rights were pretty inexistent during his reign. What is left of the town is mainly the center of the village with the church, the municipality, a school and the house of Signore Asproni. During my research I could not find out how many people lived here, so if you maybe know this, you're very welcome to write it in the comments. Anyway, the mine and the town was closed and abandoned in 1963. Just next to the city of Iglesias, which was and is the capital city of the area, there are also the ruins of the huge mine of Monteponi, which you can see from the road while passing by. The next thing we're gonna show you is more creative. This is San Sperate. As soon as you enter the town, it becomes clear that something special is happening here. Various murales, a Sardinian form of wall painting, adorn the house fronts. Within the village, the first impression is solidified. Gardens and squares are adorned with a wide variety of installations, sculptures and written poems. The artistic tradition of San Sperate dates back to Pinuccio Sciolo, who died in 2016. In 1968 he painted his first murales, which he staged based on Latin American models as a protest against the prevailing political situation. He was very popular in the village. Hundreds of murals have been created with the help of the residents. When we left San Sperate, we saw this garden with a lot of random sculptures in it. And then we found this old guy sitting in his chair. And despite us making clear that we don't really understand him, he gave us the 1-hour tour around the garden. Amazing! This man is Firenzo Pilia, and this is Il Giardino Fantastico, so the fantastic garden in English. In the garden you find the most bizarre sculptures, and the main theme is how religion and politics disrupt the natural balance in this world, and a call for respecting what surrounds us and gives us a base for our lives. Some of the sculptures have been even practical functions like swings, a lot of randomly appearing fridges and toilets, and even a full apartment is hidden in this garden. If you pass by, I would really recommend to stop by, even just to say hi to Firenzo and wish him a great day. We are in a Nuraghe. That's what the Sardinian people call these towers, and also the people and culture that was very alive in Sardinia from about 1600 to 400 BC. We are in the Nuraghe su Nuraghi, the Baromini. It was found in the 1940s and excavations took place from 1951 to 1956. Since it was completely covered with earth deposits, it remained hidden for a long time. It still remains unclear why exactly those towers were built. But here you have a freshwater source in the middle of the complex, so it is believed that this was kind of a sacred place. Another unique thing about this exact place is that most of the times the towers and the villages were separate from each other. But here it is built just wall on wall. And walls are also the only remains of the houses, as the roofs were made of organic matter like wood. In some of the houses you still see the millstones or ovens. If you want to dig deep into the Nuragic culture in Sardinia, there are around 7,000 of the towers all over the island, and many of them can be visited. There were also giant tombs. Some of them date back even later than the Nuraghes. Their form probably is the shape of a bull's head. There was a big entrance stone, and behind it you find a chamber, sometimes pretty high so people could stand inside, or like this one, a little lower. Anyway, there is not much known about the tombs or the Nuragic culture altogether, and that makes it really exciting, I think. There is still so much to be explored. Something I always have to explore is nature, so check this out. If you ever came across a cistus plant, which looked like somebody just spit on it, it's not actual spit. And I just learned this a few days ago. It's actually the defense mechanism of the cicada larva. And this is what makes funny noises the whole summer and prevents you from getting sleep. Back to ancient Sardinia for a second. There are even older graves found than the giant tombs. Domus Deianas, Sardinian for houses of fairies or houses of witches, built between 3400 and 2700 BC. Also here there is not too much knowledge about them, but probably the corpses were put into the chambers here with some gifts, and according to some theories, after being decomposed to only the skeleton, they were taken out of the grave again. Nowadays the little caves serve the living. In this case I think these are nests of a kind of solitary wasp, and check out Batman hanging around here. So in a few days we already meet with Richie in Nuragic, and from there in 3 days we're gonna start the Genamontes trek, which you're gonna see in the next video if you survive. I think that's a good point to end the video. We are at a little old Roman thermal bath. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did so, then subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, show it to your neighbors or your family or your enemies, show it to someone, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.